Hey. You have made it to trig now, guys. So we've made it through the whole course, well, a lot of the course, but now we've gotten to our trig portion. And the trig part is not bad. There's some extra stuff in here, but we're going to do some good stuff. So what we're getting ready to talk about now is about some of the rules that we have for trig, identities, and all this stuff. Math 3, you should have learned some of this stuff already. So if you did not or don't remember it, we're going to go through some of this. But for this course, we only go through reciprocal and Pythagorean identities. We don't go through like all the other ones that are out there. There's another one I'm going to throw in here to help us with our Pythagorean identities and stuff. But pretty much these are the two major ones that we have to deal with for this course. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. All right, so a quick review. We already know there's 6 trig functions. And those 6 trig functions are sine, cosecant, cosine, secant, tangent, and cotangent. Or sine, cosine, tangent, then cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So these parts here, you should have learned those in Math 3 there. So it shouldn't be like one of those things of this is the very first time seeing it. But if it is, it's okay again. We'll go back and look at that. All right. So when it comes to these, we don't write them out as sine, blah, 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 blah. Remember, we have abbreviations for these. This is sine x. That's sine x, not sin x. It's sine x. So here, don't ever say sin x. You might be dropping your grade. Just saying. All right, the next one is cosine x. This is tan x, tangent x. Our cosecant, hopefully you guys remember how to write that. Cosecant x, secant x, or secant, sorry. Looks like this. And cotangent looks like this. So we abbreviate each one of these. So we'll be using these abbreviated ones in red like all the time. The other ones we won't really do. We're not going to actually write the names out. Unless something specifically asks for the name. But we have those. Those are our 6 trig functions that you guys know about already. Now, from what we talked about on the warm-up and everything, hope you guys remember that and wrote it down. I hope you did, kept up with it. We're looking at the opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse, and everything. We talk about SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA, depending on how you say it. So we said, okay, sine x equals opposite of our hypotenuse. We said cosine was adjacent of hypotenuse. And we said our tangent, and I can actually get rid of that now. Is opposite over adjacent. Now, you should have hopefully learned, and again in Math 3, that secant, cosecant, and cotangent are like the reciprocals or the flips of these. So the reciprocal of it. In other words, instead of for cosecant here, it should be hypotenuse over opposite. So we flip the fraction for sine. Right, for cosine, the opposite of that is secant, or the inverse, or reversed. All right, so that's going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. Right, and then our tangent, the reverse of that, is cotangent, where we flip the fraction here. All right, so with that, as you can see here, our sine and our cosecant go together. Our tangent, our cosine, and our secant goes together. And then our tangent and cotangent go together. Good thing to try to remember here is our s's, like for the sine function, goes with the c for the cosecant function. So In other words, it's not S with S. It's not sine and secant. It's sine and cosecant. Or it's cosine and secant. So C and S go together. So in other words, again, if you're trying to remember them, do not put the S's together. It's not sine and secant. It's sine and cosecant, and then cosine and secant. So the S and C's go together. S and C's. All right, so we got that. So those are our rules that we had. Now we're going to derive figure out how the actual rules that we need to have for this course come from, or where they come from, using our reviewed skill and what we have right here. So with this, or kind of like what we have right here. So with this, we're going to go ahead and go into a review of how to divide by a fraction. Do you guys remember that? Remember that part? All right, let's see. Let us see.